hello there,
Yeah.
everybody. We got the man, the myth, Casey Samson in the house. Always a pleasure every time we have Casey on with anything. But today, we're going to talk about his team, what a fantastic job he does and his team does, and how he can provide an amazing service to a lot of Samson realtors out there that are missing that gap. So, welcome, Casey. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Donnie. Good to see you, man. Thanks.
So we love to start with, kind of a little bit of, who Casey is. Obviously, I know, and most of our audience does. But if they're newer to Samson or newer to plugging in here, and they're clicking on this agent team page, tell me a little bit about your history in the business, your team's accolades over the last couple of years as well.
Well, I got back in the business in 2007. Danny was talking about his model is 4.5% and blah, blah, blah. And I kept seeing the success and success and success. So I was running a big internet business. I decided to get back into the real estate side, and then decided the model was so good that I was just going to do it myself. So very small team to start. And we just started rocking Danny's model. Before you knew it, you were doing $40-50 million a year in business. It grew and progressed when I got Julie away from you. When you get the other half of Julie, my business took off. What it's morphed into is small team, less than 10 people. We kind of are specializing in bigger deals, over $1 million, over $1.5 million. We dominate the market in the Vienna area, Vienna Oakton area, over $1.5 million, over $1 million actually. So that's what it's kind of come to. We've decided we're really focused on the bigger houses, the bigger listings. We actually do more business over 1.5 million in Vienna than all other top 10 producers combined.
It's crazy. I looked at those charts. I mean, off the charts success.
I mean, we do more business, Bill. We do more business, Donnie, than all Keller Williams agents combined, all Compass agents combined, and all Long and Foster combined in Vienna. So we've got our niche.
I don't know how you listen in Vienna and don't call Casey. It's kind of a crime at this point. But go ahead.
Well, it's funny. I told Morgan, we got a 14-15% market share. She's like, not enough, 50%.
What are the other 85% thinking, right?
Yeah. I mean, what a stupid guy, You do 47 million when all along and Foster does 26 million. And she's like, not enough. Now that is a chip off the old block. As you know me, that's my girl. So
your team's crushing it. You did what, over 200 million last year as a team. But I think where you're at right now is you're comfortable with your team and your focus of what your vision is.
Right.
So you're not necessarily looking to do this interview to grow your team, but you figured out a niche that you really think you can help a lot of Samson agents and create some win-wins. So tell me about what you're doing with your partner program.
Well, there's two things about growing the team at least a little bit, and that is if you have a lot of business. We did $26 million in 10 days of new listings, contracts, and buys. So basically, the only thing I put on is what I need. You need an assistant from Morgan and Colby. You need some showing agents. You need open house agents. So there is some need in that smaller group, okay?
So you do have some needs there to join your team. So
there are some needs that we need to backfill and get some agents. And again, we had 3 listings. This is going to be magic to Danny's ears. 3 listings. We did get one of the buyers for the listings from the open house, but the other 2 listings, open houses, both had competitive buyers, and they both missed out at the very last minute. Somebody came in a lot higher, but we almost had 3 open house sales ourselves on Saturday. So what we're trying to do is we can get the listings. It generates a lot of buyers. Obviously, it generates other listings, but it generates a lot of buyers and a lot of open houses. So we are backfilling and working, trying to get some agents to fill that in.
So you're looking for maybe some buyer agents to help fill that gap, possibly.
I'm sorry?
So you're looking for maybe some buyer agents to fill that gap within your team right now.
Yes. And let me give you an example. So I was at Gaithersburg office. We were talking about partnerships the other day, and I was talking about prospecting. I said, let's say you have a listing that I just sold for 1.5 million. It was listed for 1.375, and we got 1.5. Well, somebody needs to knock on the doors of those 100 houses in the perimeter and say, you know what we just did for your neighbor? Do you need any information? That's a warm call. Do you know what we just did for your neighbor? And do you know anybody else who's thinking about selling? So there are opportunities for younger door knockers to come out and expand that as well. So we'll work on that. But the core of getting those listings and the core of getting those buyers in is solid, and we'll just backfill. We'll just backfill with some door knockers and some open house and some showing agents to come on and start working with us.
Yeah.
What I've found, Donnie, is this. We started talking. Fernando in the Gaithersburg office came to us and he said, can you help? I got a lot of agents. He's got 201 agents in his office that really have not done hardly any deals at all out of his 250. And I said, have them partner. We got into a room. We had a great seminar. I said, look, if you prospect, and everybody should, I prospect for a living, you prospect for a living, every realtor here needs to prospect for a living. So when you find a deal, with a chance of you closing that deal are very minimal because there's a lot of competitive agents out there.
Sure.
So you need to team up with the best agent in their office that can help them close that deal. Now, if somebody were to come to Vienna or Oakton or any of my areas here and have a 1.5 to 2 million, yeah, we could kill it. We're the perfect partner. But in Gaithersburg or in Potomac or in Springfield or Annandale or Fredericksburg, that's not us. So what I'm preaching, if you will, is the partnering of when you have a lead, get it into the hands of somebody that can help you close it and process it and sell it.
Right.
And unless you sell it, nobody's getting paid. Unless you get it, nobody's getting paid.
Right.
So
60%, 80% of a big check is still better than
oh my God,
0%, 100% of nothing.
You've got 201 agents that are not doing enough to buy coffee. Get a lead, prospect, get it in the hands of Carlos, Andrea, Rex is in that office.
Right.
Brad, all those guys are skilled closers. What makes you think that you can do this yourself? Right. I do not do one deal by myself, not one. I partner with somebody, whether it's Morgan or Colby or Kelly or somebody on every deal. Right. So I think that agents, and as far as team is concerned, no, I don't want 40 people and trying to get leads for 40 people and then having them wonder, why am I not getting leads? I don't want any of that. Because to be honest with you, let me make this statement on team. The best lead you're going to get is somebody that knows that you're a professional in their neighborhood and have closed your neighbor's deal.
Sure.
The best lead. And if you sell a $2 million transaction, then those people that own 2 million want to work with you because they know you're good at it and they've seen it and they've seen what you've done firsthand. So in my opinion, a just sold is the only way to prospect. I mean, I think the best way to get prospects is to just sell the living heck out of the neighborhood, let everybody know about it, and then they'll come to you when they need to sell.
Success is the best bait you've got.
Is the best.
Show them what a great job you did, and I think your overall point would be, look, you've got that mastered in your universe, and there's some holes for your team in the respect that you could bring in some more buyer agent or open house agents to help make that team bigger and better and stronger.
Correct.
And if you're interested in that, certainly reach out to you. But I think your overall point would be, look, if you don't have a ton of deals yet and you're watching this video because you're thinking about joining a team, your best path is to prospect, find the deals, and then bring in a pro to help you close it. Bring in Casey, bring in the Rex in their area, bring in the whoever in your area that is successful, that knows your area well. Help them close the deal. Work out that split with them, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, whatever that number is, that helps you get the deal and get the experience from learning from that person. Because I've heard you say, nobody walks into their profession and starts competing against the best in their business right away. You have to work your way up to that, and I think that's your second part is not just get the deal, but learn from that person that is experienced so that the next time you're a little bit closer to landing it yourself. And the next time you're a little bit closer.
You need to evolve. And you can't evolve as a professional if you try and do it yourself and fail, try and do it yourself and fail, try and do it yourself and fail. That's not the way you evolve. You evolve by partnering with somebody. And again, I don't believe in getting married right away unless you date somebody. Let's say somebody comes in and you partner together and you do about 7, 8 deals. Well, guess what? That might be somebody you might want to have on your team. They understand your systems and how it works. Then you start getting married, right? But to marry somebody, without dating, that's pretty dangerous stuff. So I think that, and again, I looked in that Gaithersburg office. I'm like, well, Rex is sitting right there, and Andre's done 20 deals, and this guy, Carlos, and his wife are awesome. I mean, why are 201 agent in that office don't have enough deals to pay for gas money? I mean, partner with these people and get it going. So I did it over there. I'll do it in the Virginia side, and we are going to do a partnership thing. And yeah, if I'm the best candidate, fine, but I'm not the best candidate for most deals. The big time agent, maybe it's Candace, maybe it's just somebody in your office that does a great job in that market area.
Right.
Partner with them. Yeah, and I'll give them the structure of how you partner and all that stuff. But I'll do a seminar within the next 30 days.
And I think right now, people watching this, if you are within that 20-minute circle or something, somewhere reasonable to be in at Oakton, I think you could be a great candidate. And somebody from you or your team can help close that deal and partner with Casey and his team. But if you're outside of that area, your best piece of advice would be, look, Casey's not the partner for you if you're 45 minutes away, but find a local buddy in that office. Find the top producers. Find somebody that says, look, if I find these deals, will you come close it with me? And let's figure out a commission split that works. I'm not telling you to commit to me being on your team full time, but if I go fishing and I bring back some fish, will you help me get it on the boat together? Because if we get it on the boat together, we both get paid.
We get it on the boat. We cook it up.
Analogy, by the way.
Eat that sucker, and we all whack. And then you learn how to catch fish a little bit better. Right now, I think some people join a team and expect to get fed. No. If you're going to be a realtor or you're going to be a professional, you prospect, and you prospect every single day. I do 2 things very well. I prospect and I close. That's what I do.
I thought you were going to mix coach football in there somewhere.
It's not September yet. When I get home in September, I only do one thing good, and that's about it. But that's just the way. That's the way people have to think. They need to get up in the morning. They need to look at their prospecting list and who can I meet? How can I talk? Again, we did literally $26 million in new deals in the last 10 days. And I can tell you they came from 7 different sources. So, you're throwing bobbers in the water and you never know when one's going to hit. When one hits.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing that's lost, and the best piece of advice you can give is that business doesn't fall from the sky. People see businesses and teams like yours, and they see you all over videos and trainings, and they're like, well, it's easy when you're Casey. It was like, yeah, but Casey didn't get that way without prospecting and finding the first deal and nailing the first one. And then you nail the second one because of the first one. You kind of build on that, but business doesn't fall from the sky for any of us. There's still prospecting gets involved. If I go over here to the print center, you're sending out tons and tons of stuff. Jason, don't tell anybody. Jason and you are sending out, and now Dustin are sending out the most amount of stuff we've got because it works and you're prospecting and you're showing that success. Hard work is what breeds that prospecting. It doesn't just fall from the sky. Now, your success does lead to more opportunities because people see it, but they only see it because you're doing a good job marketing that success as well.
But let's say that the question is, how do you start? And how you start is you go out and prospect. I have an agent in my office I work with. I partner up with him. He's the best guy, does this, he does that. He's got $120 million, blah, blah, blah. That's who you're pushing, not yourself. Nobody's going to trust you but your mother and father. And they just love you. But they're the only people who are going to trust a new agent. You got to find somebody and say, I partner with this agent, sell their track record, his or hers, sell his or her track record, say, let me just get a meeting for you. Set meetings. The goal of an agent with less than 3 deals a year, set meetings for professionals to go in and close the deal. Then follow them. Right. Sit in a listing appointment. Sit in on the prep. How do you do this? How do you do that? Just how do you do it? And then the next time you're a little bit more educated on how the process works. Yeah. After your 7th one, now you're able to take 60% of the transaction and get paid on 60%.
Right. Well, I heard you use the analogy too to kind of close this loop here. It's like an electrician. You know, they don't they don't graduate electrical school and they're able to be a master electrician tomorrow, right? Well, how do they do that? You know,
Apprentice. They're an
you know,
apprentice,
they
and
got
then
to
they
be an
work a
apprentice
long
for a
time.
certain amount of time, and then they move up, and then they get their own accounts, and it starts with small accounts. Then it gets bigger and bigger accounts as they get more and more experience. Right?
Everybody starts somewhere, Donnie. And why realtors think that they can get a license and do all of the things I mean, to close a transaction, sell transactions, like eating a goddamn elephant, right? And you try and learn it all. And it's like, look, if you're going to eat an elephant, you got to do it one bite at a time. And you just gotta evolve as you go. And eventually you'll get done with that elephant, but it's going to take a while. I mean,
Sure.
it's a tough profession.
Sure.
You know,
Well,
like
Keith,
I was telling some of the younger agents, if you want to get a listing, you got to go through Andrea or Rex or those guys. And they all do, 20, 30, $40 million with 10 years experience. So don't think you can cut corners here, man.
yeah, it's tough. You got to assume when you get that listing, you're sitting at the table, and somebody like that's going to be behind you, and it's tough to win in that circumstances. Would
Got
be
to
the
beat
point.
me in this area. And
Right.
and that's tough. And so but I say every area has a Casey Sampson. Just find the Casey Sampson.
Sure.
I mean, for example, Johnny G out in Haymarket. I mean, Johnny G will beat anybody you go in against, and so is Ferris over in Aldi. So, you
Right.
just got to find the right people in your
Yeah, if
neighborhood.
you're an
in your
Aldi,
area.
you're better off calling Ferris and bringing him in and partnering with them on the deal than trying to go against Ferris.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, that's what you want to do. So I'm trying to change the mentality of stop waiting to get fed, learn how to go out and catch fish, and once when you're out catching, bring that fish over to a professional that can help you get it on the boat and cook it.
Got it. Got it. Well, I love it, Casey. I love the message. And, I think that people can learn a ton from you. You do so many instructional videos all over our footprint, all of our video library in our offices all the time. So very thankful for everything you do for Samson. I think if you're interested in this partner program, reach out to Casey for more information if you're in his area, or find a buddy in your office, find a productive agent, and try to find that partnership that works so you can start building your career the right way by working with somebody and building up that experience in closing. So thanks for everything you do, Case. And if you have interest if you want to talk more about Casey, all of his information's on here and can go from there.
I'm like a rash on Samson University. I'm a rash. All right, brother. Good luck with the cross.
I love it. Let's close with that. Thanks,
right,
Case.
man.
I'll talk to you soon.
Go Lightning.